A video and this animation caught my eye. Let me show you.
Here is that a quick app can be fully
If you
serialized
can
as
focus on this
HTML. In
thing,
other words,
let me show you again. This animation
that a quick app can be fully serialized as HTML. In other words, at any moment,
looks beautiful, right? So I thought let's create that. Cool. So this is exactly what we are going to do in this video. I'll try to create this animation using only HTML and CSS without JavaScript, and let's see how it turns out. So we'll create a code sandbox. I'll go with the React. Even though we are using React, this doesn't has to be React. It can be anything, but I'm more comfortable with React, so I'll be using React. Okay, and we'll try to see if we can avoid JavaScript at all. Meaning, we'll use the React only for the creating the elements or the DOM. Okay, the but will not do any JavaScript computations in here. Let me start with something very generic. Let's say I'll create a div container. So far good. We'll let's see if we can center this container. Let me give it a class name of container. Okay, and let's go to style.scss. Let's make this full height and full width. So let's first set the background color so we know what's its current height and width. So we'll set height as 100 viewport height and width as 100 viewport width. Okay, but looks like there is some margin or some padding somewhere. Let's see if we can remove that padding. Let's first analyze where is that padding. Okay, so we have app class. Before that we have root ID element, and in the body we have that margin. HTML looks full screen. Body also looks full screen. The root element is also full screen. Okay, so what we can do is we can select all those things like HTML body, then we have root element with ID as root. Did I forget anything? ID as root, yeah. And we'll set the margin as 0 for all, and let me copy paste this height and width as. Now yep, the scroll bars seems to be gone, and we have this full width and full height without any margins. But I found out there's an easy way to do this. So we have this container class, right? Let's set background color to red for time being. So what we can do, there is this new pseudo class which works like this. Let's select start, and this is the pseudo class. And if you put dot container, it will select all the parents of this container and set the margin 0 and other things. So we can remove all this and simply have this. We can remove even this from here because it will select the application app as well. Okay, this looks good. Now let's try to center this container. Let's set width and height to this. Width as 100 pixels for now. Same with height. Height as 100 pixels, and let's try to center this. Let's remove all this. We'll not need that one. How to center an element? We'll try to center it here. So display grid and position items. Position. I'm forgetting what is the style. How to center position items. Position place content. Place items. Place content center. Ah, that did it. Okay, so far good. We can remove this background color. Now once again, if we go back to this animation, we want number of square elements. Okay, let's create them. So from here, let's put lots of div elements inside this. Okay, so let's say div, and for example 1, and let's give them a class name of square. So this is 1. Like that, we'll have to create lots and lots of these square elements. So here, just for the sake of creating this lots of square elements, we are going to use JavaScript. Okay, so let's say we'll need an array of, let's say, 10 items. Okay. So let's create a helper function called range. So range n, it should return an array of n elements. So const array is equal to, and we'll just populate that array for let I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, array dot push I, and return array. So here, instead of this, we will use a range function now. Range of 10 elements. Let's define this as a variable. Const n is equal to 10. So here we can put n as n, and we can simply map those to div elements. Okay, so here I can put v as a value, right? So now we have 10 elements, 0 to 9. So far good. What happened? They went away. Something, I did something, I guess. How about now? Okay, looks like, all right, we are back. Let me increase the font size, and let me close this one. While we are at it, let's change this to SCSS instead of CSS. We'll make it SCSS, and we'll import that SCSS file here. I hope everything will work. Let's refresh this. Yep, all good. Let me collapse this sidebar. So far good. We have created 10 div elements. Now we'll go back to styling them. So first thing I think we should do is have them alternate colors. Change the colors. Okay, we'll do that thing. So how to do that? So let's say we have this square class, right? Let's give some background color. I hope I'm not misspelled the class name. Okay, let's give some background color to them, just for let's say blue. Alright, now let's make them alternate. So the trick to do that would be selecting nth element, child nth child. We'll simply search it. CSS alternate row color. Element n child even odd. Okay, this even odd. Okay, we'll give this a try. Let's say the even ones are background color as green. Does this work? No. Maybe this will do. Okay, awesome. Now let's give them proper colors, some other purple and white. Let's give them purple, and here we'll give them some light color, blue. I don't know. Maybe this. For the time being, let's go with these colors. Okay, now we don't want these elements to be one below other. Okay, we want them one above other, and we want them to be squares, right? So we have this container to make. Let's try to first make them squares. So we'll copy this. Okay, now instead of stacking them one below other, let's stack them one above other. So we'll need to have this the position as absolute, and inset 0. Okay, absolute or fixed. I think for this to work, we'll have to give this position relative to the parent. The container is the parent. Awesome. Now they are stacked on top of each other. We can see it like this. All are stacked one above other. So far good. I think we don't need this width and height. This inset will take care of this. Now if we increase this inset by, let's say, 10 pixel, the width will reduce. Let me show you what I mean. You got it? So this, we can use this inset to change the size of the squares. For example, this square is small size, where this square is bigger than that. So let's use this inset property to change the size of the squares, increasing I mean linearly. So how to do that? So we are using SCSS. Let's look for for loop in SCSS. For loop. So from, okay, let's try this. So let me write the for loop. Maybe I'll write it here. @for. Okay, for, let's say, I from start 1 to end. How many items do we have? I think we have 10 items. And we'll again have to select this $I. What's happening? Do I have to write it like this? Okay, instead of background color, we are going to change the inset. Now let's say the inset is $I pixel. We'll need pixel, right? So into 1 pixel. Okay, looks like it's working, except the last element, the last ninth element. Why that didn't work? 1 to 10, right? 1 to 11. Okay. That's weird. We are having in total 10 elements from 1 to, oh yeah, makes, no, 1 to 11. I'm not sure why we need 11 here when we had 10 elements there. Okay, anyway, seems to be working, so we'll keep it. Let's make this a little more, let's increase the gap between them. Okay. This looks good, but let's say we have more than 10 elements. If we, let's say, make these elements number to 20, then I believe it is the size of the smallest square will be 0. For example, if I increase this to 6, you see it's going negative, I think. So this number, this multiplier has to be somewhere calculated based on number of elements. So what we'll do instead, we'll make it negative. So let me remove the color for a second. So here, instead of decreasing the size, we are increasing the size. Okay. So first let's give the border to so that we'll be able to see them better. So border 1 pixel solid. Let's go with black. Okay. Cool. So we are able to see the squares. Let's reduce the size of the center square to something very small. So instead of saying this 100 pixels, let's make it 10 pixels. Now we don't care how many elements there will be. They will all be surrounding the smallest circle. Even if we have 20, 30, it will grow in this fashion. So now we are good. Cool, so far good. Coming back, what needs to be done now? Now let's animate them, or before doing that, the initial arrangement is like this. Some squares are rotated by 45-degree angle. Let's see if we can do that. So we already have this n child even. Let's put transform rotate 45-degree. Let's see how they look, and let's give the background once again. So this looks good. Looks like we got what we want, but the thing is, once we give the background, we see the last element, which is the ninth number of ninth element, is on top of the other smaller elements. So we are not able to see those elements below this 9 and 8. So how to fix that? Maybe we can use the z index. So let's see if I set z index of to $I. How about -I? Now we are able to see. Let me remove this color, the center one. Awesome, looks like we are good. 1 second. So this zeroth element is bigger than this the parent, right? So I was thinking maybe we'll keep the smallest element, zeroth element, the same size as that of this red box. So how to do that? So I think we'll simply have to subtract -1 here. Not working. Um, let's try to put spaces. I think we'll need spaces around that. I believe now it's correct. Let me see if I remove this color. Yeah. Now the smallest element, that is zeroth element, is same size as that of the container. Let's see if we can, and we can scale this as big as we want or as small as we want. So far good, everything is good. Now the next step would be to animate them. Okay, looks like the larger square are rotating faster than the center ones, smaller ones. So we need to somehow animate each square differently, meaning the ninth square should rotate with greater speed, greater angular speed, you can say, than the zeroth one. So we can again can use this inside here. We can say let's define the animation first. Keyframe rotate squares from transform origin, sorry, not transform origin, just transform 0 degrees to 360 degree. What's happening? Rotate 0 degree to 360 degree, right? 60 degree. And let's see if we give this animation. Let's first test this animation. If this animation itself is working, and then we can proceed forward. So how to animate this animation property? Name is rotate square, duration 10 second, timing function, let's say linear, delay 0 second, iteration count infinite, direction alternate for now, fill mode, I think we'll simply remove this. So let's see what happens. Okay, they are definitely rotating. Failed to save styles, unknown error, retry. Okay, let me. Okay, so far good. Now we want some of the squares to start from 45 degrees instead of 0 degree, right? So what we'll do, we'll define a variable, for example initial angle, let's say initial rotation angle, to keep it short we'll say initial angle to 0 degree. I hope this is how the variables are defined. No. Okay. And here for even children we'll set the initial angle to 45 degree, and here we'll use this value, dollar initial angle. It doesn't seem to be working. if we use this instead? Initial angle, let's put initial angle 45 degree here, and here let me copy paste this. We'll use where initial angle. Is this working? No. Where initial angle. Okay, what's the issue? For timing, let me take this out. Let me put it here. Initial angle is for 0 degrees, but we change the initial angle to 45 degrees here. Okay, we'll stop the animation. We'll just try to use this animation first. So we'll try to fix the angle first. Transform, rotate, minus. Sorry, I think this is incorrect. This seems to be working. I think yeah, this should work. Let me uncomment this. Here we are. Something's wrong with this thing, I believe. We cannot use SCSS variable. We'll have to go with the CSS variable. This looks like this seems to be working for some reason. Okay, we are good. Let me remove the unwanted code. It's not this. We'll remove this one. Cleaning up the unwanted things. Now what we need to do is rotate the squares with different angular speeds. They seem to be rotating with different speeds. No? I don't know. Oh yeah. So their end angle should not be 360 degree. It should be 360 plus initial angle plus okay. I think we'll need to put calc somewhere. What's happening? Okay, now they seem perfect. Now we'll just need to rotate them with different angular velocities. How to do that? So how about we multiply this 360 degrees with the index of that element. For example, seventh element, for seventh element will be, this will be 360 degree into 7. Okay, let's try that. So here for I to from 1 to 11, let's set some variable, something like index or square index as $I. Will this work? And here we'll move it at bottom. Here we'll multiply this 360 degree with square index. I will give it a try. Index variable var square index doesn't seem to be working. What's the issue? Square index. Rotate square initial angle 360 degree into square variable of square index. What did I miss? Square index. Okay, let's try to debug this. So if I select first square, there should be some animation. Rotate square, animation duration. It doesn't show the from and to values. Do we get to see? Yeah, here it is. Where initial angle calc. Can't we get the calculated value here? Let me zoom in. 360 into where, what's the actual value here? Square index initial angle. Computed keyframe square animation name rotate square. Okay, this is not helpful. How to debug what is this value? Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. What can be done? What can be done? I don't know. Let's try something else. What if we make different animations for each element? Meaning, we'll put this inside this, and for temporary, let's hold the animation. We'll give different animation names. So this will be rotate square 1, rotate square 2, all till 11. So now we have different animations. Now we can simply use this I here, I variable, and we need to set this animation for each of those square. Refresh. Okay, doesn't seem to be working again. Think I missed something. Some elements are not being animated, but others are. So what can be the issue? Okay, for temporary, let's keep it simple. Let's see if this works. Okay, this works, meaning something is wrong while we multiply this thing. What if we put it like this? Okay. Something is definitely happening. Okay, something is definitely rotating. But why this didn't work? $I into 360 degree. for time being, let's forget about this. Let's see if this works. No. So the even elements are not being rotated. Why is that? I think we'll need to put this inside here. I'm really stuck here. Rotate square. Why only the odd elements are rotating? For the time being, let's keep it very simple. Let me rotate all of those first. Let's see, let's hard code this to 360 degree and this to 0 degree. Okay, all the elements are rotating. Now for some of the elements, or for different elements, let's increase the rotation angle into $I. Now here we are. Let's not make them alternate. Let's see if we can increase the animation duration to 20 seconds. This looks to be working. Yeah, this looks more fun actually. Let me see if I can increase the number of elements to, let's say, 40, and I'll pass this as a variable. So here we'll put minus minus n as n. Hope this works. So instead of hard coding this 11 here, we can simply do var minus minus n. What's wrong now? Var minus minus n. Calc, I don't know what I'm doing. Is not a number. Okay, it looks like this has to be a number. Is it? What's the number of n? 40. Okay, we'll come back to this later. For now, let me hard code this as 40. Wow, that escalated too fast. Let's make this 60. Let's restart. Let's pause the animation for a second. We'll remove the numbers here. So far good. And let's resume animation. I think 40 is too many. Let's keep it to 20 for now. Refresh. Nice. Let's do one more thing. Let's reduce the gap between these elements. How to do that? I believe somewhere here, somewhere inset. Where is the inset? Yeah, inset 3 pixel maybe. Let's reduce it further. Not bad. 1 pixel. Now maybe we can scale it to 40. Refresh. Wow, that looks awesome. 41, I think. Let me refresh this again. We'll start this again. Too fast. 80. Looks nice. Let me slow down it a little bit more so that we'll be able to enjoy it better. Let me increase the gap a little. Now it looks awesome. Let's increase the time even more. Wow, this is mesmerizing. Hey, but the middlemost square, is it animating? Yeah, it is. I thought this one was not moving. I can simply look at this. This is mesmerizing. But you see, the outer squares are moving fast. Okay, and if the frame rate is low, then this animation will not be fluid. Okay. So let's see if we can do reverse, meaning the outer square, the bigger square, will not rotate that fast. The inner squares will rotate fast. Let's try to achieve that first. So let's put this into a variable for temporarily. N is equal to n as 41. I don't know. Let's go with 41 $n. I'm not sure if that will work. This seems to be working. Then why can't we do this minus minus n? We have passed this. So var minus minus n. Come on. N is not a number. It is a number. Am I passing it on the container? Okay, I'm passing it on the container. So let's do one thing. Let's move everything inside the container. Okay, so now what's wrong? Minus minus n is defined. Definitely it is defined here in the container. So it's not able to. Can we give default values so that it will not cry? So let's see. Variable SCSS variable default values. Yeah, default values. I don't know. What is the default value here? Variables with defined with default can be configured when loading a module. Use rules. Yes, often allow users to configure their library. I'm not understanding this at all. Default values, built-in variables. I don't understand. What if I want to give some default value? Box shadow. Let's try searching SCSS variables default value. CSS SCSS default use default creating a style with what do you mean default? Default is a SAS flag that indicates conditional assignment to a variable. It assigns a value only if the variable was previously undefined or null. Consider this code snippet. Okay. What if we define this variable twice? Okay, I think I got it. So by default we'll get this value from here, but if it doesn't have a value, then we'll say by default take 41. Still it's crying. Where my take this one? No. Okay, I think I'll not be able to handle this. It's not able to take the variable from here, even though we clearly defined it. It's crying. Where minus 1 is not a number. Calculate? I don't know. How to convert it into a number. I don't know. Okay, forget it. Let's just go with this n as 40 here and there. N as 40 plus 1. Okay, what are we trying to do now? We are going to rotate the inner square faster than the outer one. Okay, so simply we can do here $n minus I. Will that work? Space. There we go. Once again, looks like there is something else inside that. There is some square I think we missed. +1. I'm not sure why this needs +1. I think now we are good. Everything looks good. Let's reduce the size of the innermost element to 5 pixel, or yeah, let's start with 5 pixel. Awesome. Now awesome, let's take this outside somewhere on the top, somewhere here. The outermost square is not rotating. You see it's staying stationary. What is the reason for that? Let's figure it out. -1. N is 40 and I is 40. So the outermost, let's do this -140, right? +1. We want +1. +1. Now is it rotating? Refresh. Yeah, now the outer one is also rotating. Looks good. Everything seems to be working fine. Just look at it. So Nice. Can I play with the border? How about I increase the border width? Border size. Where is border? It should be inside square, right? Somewhere. Here it is. Let's make it 2 pixels. No. 1.5. And I want to make this color a little lighter. Beige. I don't know. Beige. How about beige? Yeah, not bad. Okay, this is really looking good. Wow, I can just stare at it. It's so mesmerizing. Good. Going back to this animation, we still want some of the element to start from 45 degrees. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. By the way, which colors are they using? Purple and white. No, our colors looks good. The colors are perfect, I think. All right, so now we want some of the elements to start from 45 degrees angle, right? So what if I give here 45 degree? 45 degree. Is that working? Plus 45 degree. Just for now I'm simply hard coding it, but just be with me. I'm just want to check if this works. Okay, if this works, then we'll put this back. Let's see. Okay, now we want them to end at this 360 degree plus this value, right? Now everything goes haywire. I don't know what's the issue here. I don't know what's the issue. Variable for initial angle. Calc. I don't know what I'm doing. Into 1 degree. I'm not sure why this is not working. What's the issue? Calc. Does it need one more closing bracket? Yeah, but it's not getting animated. Rotate 360 degree into. Okay, let me just do this thing. We'll close a bracket here and plus this angle. Come on. I don't really have the idea. How about we calc? We put calculate. Come on, give me something. Give me something. I don't know what can be the issue here. $360 into. Okay, how about we first multiply this. I think this is where we are doing wrong, and then multiply it with this. Okay, first let's get this working. Okay, this is definitely working. So far good. So far good. Okay, now we just want to multiply this value, whatever we got here, right, with this thing. Come on. What's the error? Just a second. Can I pause this? Quick time. How to pause this recording? Okay. Let's forget about that. Okay, we calculated this thing, and then we are multiplying. What if we put this inside? What if we put this inside another calc? So far good. Still I don't understand. What else shit? Does it need one more bracket? Okay. So this is rotate, and this is inside calc. Here we'll put this. Come on. I have no idea what's going on. So here we got the end angle, right? This is the angle, and we are simply multiplying it with that angle with some value, right? Let's start with this. Initial angle 360 degree plus initial angle. Have we defined the initial angle correctly? Yeah, initial angle is 45 degree. So 360 plus 45 multiply by some number. Something is going wrong. Let's give it some more time. Let's see if we can figure that out. So we knew that this was definitely working, right? This was working. If we remove this, no, let's keep everything basic. Okay, this is definitely working. Now all we need is okay, you know what, this is also looking fine. Look at that. Not bad. Wow, this is also good. Awesome. Maybe we'll simply leave it to this. We'll stop here because I'm not able to figure out what's the issue. Can I add 45-degree here? I can definitely add, it's working. So what happens if I replace this with this initial angle? Now everything seems to be messed up. I'm really not understanding what's the issue here. Maybe because this I'm playing with the SCSS variable and the native CSS variable. Maybe that is the issue. Or maybe we'll debug it. Let's see if we can find it out. For example, here, where is the keyframe? Something is wrong. Okay, tell me what's wrong. Dev degree var. Okay, so you see something 140 degree var. I don't know, it's messed up. So something wrong is happening over here. Plus var. So what's happening? So it's able to calculate this value. Okay. And it's saying var minus initial angle. So but I use this no plus var initial angle. What if I do put this before this? Var plus 360 degree. Now initial angle, it's not able to add those two values. It's not able to add those two values. Looks like we cannot mix these two variables, the SCSS variables and the CSS variables. What if I put this value into an SCSS variable value? What I mean is, so we have this initial angle here, right? What if we say dollar initial angle var, and now I add this value here plus, no, still not working. Still it's not able to, okay, calculate calc var. How about now? No, not working. Var of this, no. How about this bracket? Initial, now it's supposed to work, right? Calculate variable initial angle plus 360 degree into, now it's not able to calculate the value of this. Okay, let me revert back for a moment. and here it's putting the actual values, right? So here I'll simply add var no, dollar initial angle. Come on, it's not able to add it now for some reason. I think we'll not be able to solve this. You know what? Let it be. Let's stop here. This looks like a good stopping point. This also is not bad, right? This looks good, not bad. Or you know what? Maybe we'll not have this initial angle. We'll simply default it to 0 degree. This looked better. Amazing. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll stop here. Thank you.